a separate exhibition about the Beirut Plaza de Martyrs, which is really a very, very, very nice series. And this is one of the few series that survived New York when after, because it was done here, it was exhibited in New York in 73 and 74. And I did this between some of them. I started in New York in 71, 72, and then I went to Lebanon in 73 and visited the area of the famous Place de Martyrs, which they call El Burj in Beirut. And did maybe 50, 60 watercolors. All of them are watercolors and drawings. So this is important because it's one of the earliest series. It's kind of interesting. It has very strong, tense color, but it's also just featured those early figurative work about mostly women and the nightlife around the red districts in Beirut. This place was completely destroyed during the Civil War. So it has become something historical. Now they changed it. The place is called Martyrs Square, which is a different format, different structure. Everything is different about it. So this would be this would be a separate exhibition among other exhibitions that I will be holding in Caracas soon. 71, 72, I started a series on Beirut. It's called El Burj. This is the center of the business district. It's called in French Place de Martyrs, and the reason for this de Martyrs because it's in this area that they hang some of the Arab nationalists, Lebanese, Syrian, Palestinian, and others who spoke against the Ottoman group, and they arrested them all and hanged them. So it's a martyr place, Plaza. But also it was the hub. It was like, it's like Times Square. It's the hub, the center of the city, and it had one of the most famous red light districts right adjacent to it. And usually, people would go there for normal, and I thought that's a very important subject because all these men, all these people, even sailors who arrived to Lebanon, to Beirut, or traveling anywhere, they would come to that plaza, and from there, and obviously, you'd see these beautiful women, the young women who also came from all various parts of the country and the Arab world, and even Europe, like Greece and Italy and so on. So it was a very important subject, and then the place, everybody now would be curious. You have to see it. You see these women, you feel shy, you walk around. So it was a very important subject for me. It had a lot of memory, it has a lot of personal relation. And then I started this series, and I have shown it with other works. But I was doing a lot of things to do with the figures.
Soothing paintings you've made from the stuff that I've seen. And the most dreamy.
Yes. There are some also very soothing, and like the one I mentioned, it's called Dream Vision, Vision del Sueño. Now I did this in the 79, 80, and it was a dream about the artist dreaming while I was doing things on war, but also here you have something a little bit more romantic with the artist lost in his thoughts and ideas, and there is always the muse or the woman or the inspiration or the wife or girlfriend who is lying next to him. But it is true, there was a lot of that work similar to Place de Martyrs. Some of it were mythological, some of it on daily life that I did when I was here. I would go out and do street scenes from New York. But the other was much more relevant to me since I came there. I was familiar with the area, with the people and things like that. And when I went in 73, I did a lot of painting on the same subject. You will, they are deep, deep in colors, but as you said, they are not war paintings. Of course, here the women are actually attractive because they were really attractive. Traditionally, I don't know why, many of the painters always looked at prostitutes as usually ugly or something terrible, or or even there was fear. To me, this was not true. These people were young. But also there is a very important aspect. Since El Bourj, the area, is called Place des Martyrs, and in French, martyr with an R could be masculine or feminine. So the way I wrote it was with an E, Place des Martyrs, which means women. Those were the real martyrs in this case. And when the plaza was destroyed during the Civil War, it became also a martyr. So it's very appropriate. Because El Bourj, Place des Martyrs, was one of the first casualties of the Lebanese Civil War. It was completely destroyed. So this has a little bit of ironic, symbolic, to name it, martyr, Place des Martyrs. It plays two things. One thing, the martyr women, the other thing, martyr, the place itself became martyr.